How's it going, everybody? This is the wild child, Connor Hopkins, the handsome coyote in Those Damn Coyotes, and you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me. Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening out there in the wrestling world? We are your favorite marks. It's time to sit down and talk a little wrestling, what's been going on lately in the world of course, it's we got full house tonight, man. All four marks in the building, man. We're all good to go. Full squad, full deck. How's everybody feeling? Primo, how you doing, brother?
Not too bad. Happy holidays to everyone. Welcome back.
Too.
Another edition of the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Episode number 120. 120.
That's right.
Wait,
we
really?
made it. 120.
120 and creeping up on 3 years coming up here pretty soon.
That's right.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yep.
A couple of months. So, Michael in the building. How you feeling, brother?
About a quarter chub, you know.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
That's good. Have a
About
few more
a
beers,
quarter.
man.
About a quarter.
Michael, is it because Primo and I are dressed exactly the same right now?
I mean,
glasses and everything.
Like, unplanned, everything.
I mean, it doesn't help, but there we go.
It's tan collared sweater day here on the Sit Down Marks
Apparently,
podcast.
Jesus.
AJ, how you doing, brother? Welcome back. How are you? Sir?
Thank you. Good to be back. It's nice to wear a tan collared sweater.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that time of year, man. All warm and fuzzy on the inside and out.
I'm cold and dead on the inside, but warm and fuzzy on the outside.
Those damn holidays, they just can't break you, can they?
Nope.
Nope.
I refuse. I didn't put up a Christmas tree or anything this year. That's
Oh,
very
damn.
sad.
I've been at work for the last week, so I did not get any office polls for this podcast.
Bummer.
Oh, come on.
I
Yeah,
know.
you had the fans hooked on that, so you
I
can bring
know.
it back. You can bring it back in January in the next pod, the post Rumble pod.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you better bring it back. Not you can.
better.
You
Who
will,
better?
or you're fired.
Let's jump into
How
it,
can I
boys. Let's talk about
fire
the big
people?
stuff that's been going on lately, man.
Yeah.
It's these things are monthly now with us, so a lot has happened. AEW had Full Gear. That's been long gone past. Survivor Series was kind of the big main topic that kind of engulfed the wrestling world, so to speak. So before we ever get into that of the actual card, man, let's talk about like some of the reactions from it, and kind of some other things that were going on in the world of wrestling lately. But I mean, let's talk about it. How shocked were you when Punk came out? And now he's the biggest thing in wrestling once again, but with a different company, and his face is all over everything all of a sudden. But were you guys pretty shocked, Michael? Like, were you shocked when he came out?
Oh, no, I completely called this. Like, honest to God, Survivor Series in Chicago, Punk even said 2 months before he said that, or he debuted again, was, yeah, I'm free for 2 months. Like, the shot was made a long time ago, so I really wasn't that surprised by it. I am loving everyone's either bittersweet reactions to it and just the wailing of the fans that don't want to see Punk again, and then the people that are like jubilant about it. But my favorite reaction so far has been Primo, mainly because he has the "you've hurt me before" Punk reaction to it.
Yep.
I don't know if I could be hurt again.
It's the same thing with Jeff Hardy. Yep. No, I mean, I don't know. I'm coming around to it, but I mean, I wasn't as surprised as to see R-Truth back, if I'm honest. But
that's right. Like when we were talking about that, like we were texting each other.
Yeah.
Someone was like, "Can you believe who just came back?" I'm like, "R-Truth." Biggest news ever.
Now I like that. I like the move that Triple H made with the showing the copyright symbol, thinking the show's over. Then they hit the music.
Yeah.
Cool. I did notice, obviously, now everybody, it's going to be obvious. He's not going to get as big of a pop anywhere else in the world than he did in Chicago. I mean, you go to SmackDown this past week, and it's the tribute to the Troops show, and there's just like, it's tribute to the Troops. So you don't expect a whole lot from the crowd. Those guys are tired.
Yeah,
I get it.
That's fair.
Primo knows. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I was honestly completely shocked. You know why? Because like it seemed too obvious to me. Like, oh no, man! Like I'm not falling for this because it's in Chicago. These little, teasers that's been put out, these little Easter eggs been put out. He was seen at the Starbucks near the stadium that morning. I still didn't fucking want to believe it. Like God damn it! Like he got me. You know what I mean? But what? I don't know. I was happy. I was pretty pumped.
You know what I don't believe is that in the press conference, Triple H said basically that this actually wasn't set in motion until like a handful of days prior to Survivor Series. He's like during a lot of the speculation, it actually all was just speculation, and it didn't actually happen until like a week and a half beforehand.
BS.
Total.
Which
bullplop.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree with that.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but bullplop, Triple H.
Yeah.
Come on,
right?
You don't just after the history that you have with this man, you don't just call him 3 days before and like, hey, want to come back, sign a contract?
What's up, dude? Come sign the paper.
Yeah. He's selling, right? Like he's selling.
I bet he called him the day after Wembley.
Oh, absolutely. It was like, hey, do you want to be the highest paid professional wrestler in the history of professional wrestling? Yes. All right, come on.
He's like, how much you guys paying Logan?
Too much.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, and now he's showing up on just about every brand of show they have after.
Yeah, he was on NXT
this last week.
That was in his contract too, right? Yeah. Can I make an appearance on every show so I can keep you guys guessing as to where I signed?
They're going to bring back 205 Live so he can appear on that. And...
dropping hints about main eventing WrestleMania. That just happened too with him.
It's got to be, right? Yeah. It's got to be him and Seth on fucking day one or something. Or day two. One of the days. It's got to be.
The money match with Punk is Cody. That's the money match for WWE right now.
Yeah, but Cody's kind of booked for the foreseeable future.
Well, maybe he randomly punched somebody in the face backstage. We don't know. Which I'll get back to that later. That was actually a line I actually laughed out loud at that Punk did on SmackDown.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of returns, too, we got to talk Randy Orton, man. How big and how good does that dude look right now?
The swole Viper, dude.
Right.
Legs are
he looks great. Looks
tree
freaking
trunks.
great.
Obviously put in some dedication to coming back to work. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I bet once he heard... Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Primo.
No, go ahead.
I say, I bet when he heard that Riddle was gone, he's like, I got to get back to work. I got to go. I got to get back there now. I've been drawing this out too long.
Yeah. I'm glad he's back. He was gone a long time, and for a second there, I didn't think he was going to come back.
I didn't think so either.
Just because of the surgery that he had, I was surprised that he still used the RKO, considering that that's one of the things that had to make him have surgery to begin with. Mm-hmm. Landing on his back every match for however long.
Yeah.
Well, you put on 3 inches of muscle. You got more cushioning this way now.
That's what I said. That's what I told somebody was, well, maybe he reinforced his back with a layer of muscle back there. So.
Yeah. Maybe that was the idea, right? But his legs were bigger than ever. He's more solid, wider, just thicker, man. And I was pretty excited he was back. Getting
got a good tan.
All his spots. Yep.
Can I give you guys a controversial opinion?
Yeah.
Come on.
I prefer face Randy Orton to heel Randy Orton.
Really?
I don't know why. I think he's hilarious as a face because
He's funny.
It doesn't work, which makes it work for me because he's clearly one of the most natural heels in the history.
Yeah, he's
ever.
one of the best.
But I love him as a face. Like he cracks me up.
He is funny as hell. Like there's
at this
he
point
is
in his
incredibly
career,
funny.
though, he's just like you're gonna like him because he's Randy Orton.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, so let me ask you this, and Michael, I'll let you start, man. So with Michael or with Randy Orton coming back with CM Punk now, this fucking Mania coming up is looking like with his new players and new does it look like WWE's gaining some big fucking steam by these? These are big signings. This ain't just Edge coming over to AEW. This is, you know what I mean? This is much bigger, and you know what I mean. So I feel like WWE like leveled up big time with these moves right here.
Yeah, my whole take on this is Triple H is a competitive guy, and he's sick of AEW doing whatever they're doing over there, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Drinking blood.
Oh my! That's the other thing. The other one thing I remember about that pay-per-view. We'll get to that. But Triple H is a competitive guy, and he's not out to just win. He wants to embarrass Tony Khan at this point. They're gonna just run away with this. WWE is picking up so much steam. They've got so much momentum. They're getting mainstream press coverage at this point. Mania is going to be massive. Like, how much more money do you want is the question, WWE, because you're going to get it.
Are they doing 2 nights again in Philadelphia?
Yep. 2 nights.
Yeah.
2 nights.
That was going to be my question. At this point, they have the 2-night Manias. You main event one night, you main event the second night. Right. But we still see the main event of night 2 as the main event, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. Without question. Night 1's like main event junior. It's main event.
It's like JV main event.
Yes.
We'll all still take it. You know what I mean? Like as a performer, they'll take it. But night 2 is Sunday night, still the big night. It's we're going home. We're going home Saturday. We're going home Sunday night.
So with all the good stuff that's going on right now, and I asked you guys this a little bit ago too. After Punk came back. Does anyone care about Roman Reigns' title reign anymore? Because I don't. I don't care at all about the Bloodline or Solo Sikoa, or if Roman Reigns shows up or doesn't show up. I don't care. I want to watch all the other stuff.
So after Jay left the Bloodline, I
tuned out.
Yeah.
Same. Well, I'll say this. I'm still interested because Roman's the champion, so we got to see how that's all going to come out to get.
Is he though?
Yeah,
but let me listen. But now that storyline, that Bloodline storyline, instead of being such a main in the headline, always sending us home with a new chapter of what's going on, it steps back now, man. Kind of like a little more is like a cog in the wheel, and not so much the wheel. You know what I mean? Because there's bigger stories like Randy and bigger stories like CM Punk. You know what I mean? And everybody's kind of more interested in that. You know what I mean? So it
shouldn't the WWE Championship
kind of becomes a mid card,
a title reign that's been going on for 4 years.
Right
now, the mid card storyline.
Right, mid card storyline. Yeah, but Punk and Roman facing off, and
I don't even want to see that.
I do.
I'd rather see Punk and Seth face off.
I want to see that too.
Roman.
I want to see that too. But
I liked Punk and KO's interaction backstage.
Yeah.
Just saying, man. I'll just stick with my guns, man. Like when Roman breaks Hogan's record, then we'll talk about the belt coming off. I just don't see it.
See, and the thing is, I don't not like Roman. I still like Roman.
Yeah,
I still like the Tribal Chief. I'm just at this point. He's not there at all. I don't think you can say that you're just like still this defending champ if you're not defending the championship ever.
Wasn't there a rule that you had to defend the title every 30 days or you got stripped of it? Or is that just kayfabe whenever it's convenient they need to take the belt?
I think that's a storyline rule.
When they need to use it, it's there. Yeah. All right, so moving on. What do we know about Charlotte's injury? Is it leg, knee, foot?
I just saw months. How long she's going to be out. I don't know.
All right,
what
you didn't look at what body part or like.
No, because I don't care.
She's believed to have injured her knee and struck her head while slipping from the top rope wrestling Asuka.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So she can come back and get 5 title shots all at once again in 4 months.
You brought your poop.
Well, you prefer Bianca Belair?
I know. I don't. She's right beneath Bianca Belair for me right now. It's like, just go away. I don't care.
AJ's shooter today, boy.
I am. I don't care.
He's all feisty from that coffee. I'm telling you.
Like, remember when Charlotte came back against she jumped in the ring against Asuka when Asuka was with Damage Control and Bianca was there. I seriously out loud went, "Oh, go away, Charlotte!" I was so sick of. I was like, "Just fuck off, go away."
All right. So next question: where will Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth? I see he has taken an indie booking. You guys think he'll land anywhere with TNA or?
I hope so.
Somewhere?
I'd say probably TNA, and then comes back and is a producer role at WWE when he finishes up his in-ring stuff. But he still has a couple years in ring that he can go. But yeah, the dude can provide so much knowledge to the younger crowd and the up and coming stars that it'd be a damn shame to not have him in some kind of backstage role.
Yeah. So both him and Riddle are announced for MCW, which is my local promotion in Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's in February.
Nice.
So that's a couple months away.
Go tell my buddy Nick that I said hi. He'll totally remember me.
Yeah. All right. Let's step in here real quick. Primo, what you just shared with us, man. Read this off to the public. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is actually not accurate. Here? So no, it's not accurate.
Okay, it's not accurate.
So,
all right, we'll move on. Yeah. All right, so let me tell you guys about this. So today, or actually 2 days ago, I just received the new Pro Wrestling Illustrated. It's got Timeless Toni Storm on the front right here, looking only as she can look. All right, so but in this particular issue, the main guts of it is the 4th annual top 100 tag team list according to PWI. Let me read off a couple, say top 10, 20 of them. Who you guys think are number one? It's pretty obvious, probably, right?
815.
Yeah,
you said that, what are these tag teams? You said
tag team number one.
815
tag teams in the world.
I'm gonna guess either the
over
Bucks or FTR.
what period?
It's FTR. It's over the last year.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's not the Usos?
No. All right. FTR number 1, Aussie Open number 2.
I like that.
Yeah. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens at 3. Bishamon number 4, which is Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. Number 5 was the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Move them
6
up,
was Ace.
Sammy.
6 was Ace Austin and Chris Bay. 7 is the Acclaimed. 8 is the Judgment Day, and they just have Freebird rules, I guess. They got Finn, Damien, and Dominic. So any of those 3, any combination of Damage Control was 9. Takahashi and Meka Yobu was 10th. Here's the Young Bucks, but they have them as the Elite in at number 11. So I guess trios works here too. So
sure.
Yeah. La Rebellion was 12th. Melior was 13th. Rascals was 14th. New Era's 15th. Lucha Brothers 16th. Let's see. Notables. House of Black 19th. Violence is Forever. Dominic Green and Kevin Koo. Big independent tag team there at number 20. The Guns were 21.
How many tag teams? Is that out of 25?
Top 100.
Are there 100 tag teams currently working across all promotions?
I'm sure.
That is a really good question.
I couldn't name. I bet I couldn't name 30 tag teams right now.
You don't think you can name 30?
Are we counting Cody Rhodes and Jay?
Goddamn right we are.
Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna get.
Where's
no
Braun
Creed
Strowman?
brothers in top 25?
What about Braun Strowman and Ricochet? Are they? They're 24, right?
No, better yet. What about Braun Strowman and the Kid?
I don't know where they are, but anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess what number the Hardy Boys are?
I'm gonna say you said 100, and they're number 100.
I'm gonna say not applicable.
86.
They're high up there.
They are very high up there. Primo's, very close. They are number 94.
This is coming from one of their biggest fans ever. It's time to hang up, boys.
Number 94.
I mean,
all right, AJ, I'm gonna give you some homework real quick. Sorry, Mike, I'm gonna cut you off.
Good.
The tag team that's number 100. I want you to go look them up. They're called the Runway. They're a tag team called Calvin Couture and Tyler Klein. I have no idea about them, but you're going to tell us. What are you going to say, Michael?
The Hardy Boys should be much higher on that list. They're a legendary tag team. It's just, God, they didn't do anything with the reunion in AEW when Jeff came back.
Brawling Brutes were 76. I was trying to look for some
Brawling
Brutes that everybody knows.
No Creed brothers. No.
I didn't see them. I'm sure
grizzled
they're
young
high.
veterans.
The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are 72.
Are we counting like the trios as tag teams? Is that they count in there?
Dude, what about Piper Niven and what's her face, Chelsea Green?
You shut your mouth.
Number 6, right?
Is the Golden Elite's not in there?
Yeah, they had them 11th.
What the? Hold on.
You looking them up? Who are they? The Runway.
Okay, let's see if I can find a good thing to read. Most of these are. For the Runway, self-expression defines pro wrestling's freedom. The fashionista Calvin Couture and trophy boy Tyler Klein see pro wrestling as a medium for all to be whoever you want to be.
I love that.
So they're the maximum male models that are still around.
The Dapper Duo consider themselves to be the most fashionable tag team in wrestling.
The Pittsburgh-based duo have seen their profile heighten incredibly since joining forces over a year ago with memorable appearances at EFFY's, that's Effie's, Big Gay Brunch, Camp Leapfrog, and MV Young Polyam Cult Party 2.
You remember the Fashion Police?
I missed the Fashion
Yeah, I was just thinking, Brazongo?
Oh my God, they were so entertaining.
At first, when I opened this, that's who I thought it was going to be. But
yeah, they were. They definitely were. All right, so we learned about a new tag team tonight. So we all got educated.
We learned something here today.
So before we jump into the Survivor Series, man, let's talk about maybe a few things about AEW. We'll just talk about AEW lately that can pertain to Full Gear. Let's talk about Michael's subject first of the drinking of the blood.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy. I wasn't down with that either. Not like I didn't need that in my wrestling.
But it's edgy.
Yeah, I get it. And
edgy.
I guess they got people talking, but okay, blood, but we gotta be drinking it though. Like it's just straight up.
Maybe he was low on iron, and he's like, I'm feeling a bit anemic.
I'm not a deathmatch guy, but like I feel like I'll watch it. But I'm not, I'm not going to go to a deathmatch show. But like I'll watch it on TV and be like, oh my God, these, But yeah, so talk about it, Michael. What about the, I guess they've since had another match. So what's your thoughts on?
So. Here is the problem.
I love how you progress.
Well,
whenever Michael starts,
I'm just exacerbated already.
I'm not going to go on a rant, but I'll say this, and you probably agree with me about this. A lot of the problem with AEW's presentation and booking, it's a constant game of one-upsmanship. In a lot of like other industries, it's called power creep, right? Where you constantly have to do something higher and higher and higher to keep people interested in. And this is something that we've been talking about for a while, is that AEW is going to have to keep going up and up because they're appealing to that hardcore, like ultra violence crowd now. The drinking of the blood thing. For anyone that doesn't know, Adam Page drank Swerve Strickland's blood as it was dripping off his head.
Yeah, he was like,
But I've seen Jon Moxley wipe his hand on someone else's blood and lick his fingers on live TV.
That doesn't count.
So how much further can they really push this without getting kicked off TV is the real question.
Ask ECW that question.
Well, there you go. It didn't last too long. Remember when the Sinister Minister on their pay-per-view did a line of blow and lost their TV deal?
No, but I do now.
That's not nearly as disgusting as drinking blood coming off of somebody else's forehead.
Maybe it was like movie blood, though. Maybe it was just like Caro syrup and red dye.
Oh
like
no, it wasn't.
Like an Evil Dead.
So I hate death matches. I really do, because to me, it's not really much of a story. It's how many things can I hit you with, and how many things can you hit me with, while we are clearly working together to hit each other with sharp things while making it try to not look like it.
I feel like they just shouldn't use a wrestling ring. They should use something else, right?
Like how many things can I stick in your forehead, basically?
Yeah, like the moment that Mox started, they brought Nick Gage in, and with the pizza cutter and the barbed wire, everything, I was like, oh, this is gonna go off the rails so hard so soon. They buried the stapler spot. Adam Page was stapling Swerve Strickland, and Swerve took it away from him and was stapling himself and laughing about it.
Right.
So it completely. Why even do it then? It just buries the spot.
Right. Right. If you're not inflicting pain on him, you know what I mean, and then you're going to take him yourself. Yeah.
And then I always have a problem with hanging people in a wrestling ring, because it's there to shock you. Like, remember when Undertaker hung Big Boss Man?
Yeah, that didn't go over well.
Yeah, that went over horribly. And so I don't remember who made the point, but at the end of that match, Swerve Strickland essentially hangs Hangman Adam Page. If you would have reversed those roles, think about the backlash that would have come from that.
Like, it actually makes me uncomfortable even talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's done in such poor taste. It gives wrestling a bad name. It makes their performers look like they don't have any talent or skill, and they're just hitting each other with stuff that anyone can do.
Right.
And that's what the real problem I have with death matches is that I don't want to degrade wrestling. There's a place for blood and very high violence in wrestling. There definitely is. I'm thinking Magnum and Tully, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do it every show, it loses all meaning. And it's just, we're going through the motions. Mox gonna mox and bleed all over the place. Now apparently everyone else is just gonna just get color, and now we're gonna drink blood, and that's the new norm. It's like, it's sad. It makes me sad, really.
Yeah.
I would love to hear your thoughts on this, though.
Yeah. I'm not a deathmatch guy. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. You know what I mean? I feel like I said, I'll watch it. But I feel like it shouldn't be done in a wrestling ring, because it's not really anything to do with wrestling. It should be done on a big huge platform, I guess. On a concrete slab somewhere, you know what I mean? Why? What do the ropes matter at this point? What is the bumping of the ring matter at this point? Just
why is there a ref?
Just have a guy in stripes follow wherever you are. If you need a ref to count, but you know what I mean. Like I said, yes, not dogging it. I understand. People make a good living doing that stuff. It's fine. It's just not my thing with wrestling. Yeah, and I do think in a fair way, it kind of degrades wrestling. But like I said too, I'll watch going, holy shit, this is insane, this is crazy. Yeah, and yeah, that was done in a lot of a poor taste. But I couldn't remember which one of you said it, but they went for the shock factor. I think it was let's get people talking. Let's do something that's probably not been done on live TV before. This is pushing the envelope. I feel like a lot of stuff that's been going on lately, like, they've been, kind of pushing the envelope, and this was like kind of like that, next step. And, then it was kind of glorified after that. They're drinking his blood. Let's show you the replay. There's still shots they're showing you of how it happened. So they're not like backing off from it at all. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a bit of, tasteless wrestling, I guess. But, I was just kind of like, okay, but, I wasn't interested to be like, oh, cool, I hope they have a third match now after seeing the second time. Or, like, no way. Like, it's just, it's just a match of doing for sake of doing crazy shit. There's no storyline in that dumb shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, I was, totally disappointed in it. But, you guys got anything on that? Because I kind of want to talk about Jay White a little bit on.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It was fucking gross.
Yeah.
Moving on.
That's right. Okay.
That's what I got. Fucking gross.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I told you, I texted you guys that I thought, man, I was like, tonight feels like the right night for Jay White to win the title at Full Gear. And then they just seem to do a whole bunch of fucking debauchery and just make him look like a total low budget clown, that off the street for the night to just, somebody else could have done all that shit. You know what I mean? So very disappointed in that. Now, that was kind of like on the big stage. Since then there's been a little bit of time, and, they kind of brought him back up with some, some middle, kind of card wins and stuff. But it seems like MJF at all costs, at whatever it needs to, you know what I mean? And everybody else just gets buried at this point. You know what I mean? MJF's already a made man. You know what I mean? Like do they not understand? Like
they're gonna turn him into Roman.
Like, oh yeah, it's just, it's kind of all over the board right now. You know what I mean? And I just keep going. Fuck, man, like, did Jay make the right decision? Just because, like, he's my, I just think he's the best talent right now and my favorite, you know what I mean? So I just keep thinking back, did he make the right move by going there? Should he have? Had he gone to WWE? But, I don't know.
Well, here's another question for you, too. And, we're talking about, like, they made him look like a total geek. Like, MJF had one leg in that match.
Yeah, he was injured.
You remember when I jokingly said when Daniel Bryan broke his arm and he still won, it's like, you can't beat a guy with one arm? Like,
right.
You can't beat a guy who is on one leg, and you're a wrestler.
And tired because he already performed once that night.
Yeah. Use a wrestling move and take him down. Like I don't know, double takedown, like, something. He's only got one leg. How hard is it to beat a guy? Like, I'm pretty sure I could beat MJF if he has one leg.
Yeah.
I hate saying this because I love MJF, but I was not happy with that whole booking. The booking of that entire show. I was like, this is not. And I've been defending AEW for a long time, and come on, guys, what are you doing?
I really don't like face MJF. I really don't like this guy. I like heel MJF because he's a natural heel, and that's how he got over in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't like face MJF. He's lost the magic for me.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on, boys. Let's get to Survivor Series. Let's talk about War Games real quick. I mean, it wasn't too long ago. I believe it was right after Thanksgiving weekend. Let's get to grades real quick before we kind of just kind of buzz through the card here. Knowing what we know now about Randy coming back and CM Punk, and I thought this was a solid card, one of the better ones I've seen in a while from then. I'd probably get this thing like a solid B+, kind of tinkering on an A, man. But what'd you guys think about this, man? Women's War Games match. and then the surprise return at the end, Randy in the cage, Cody getting the pin, his daddy's creation that he finally got to wrestle in was a cool spot. So Primo, talk to me, man. What was your letter grade for this one?
So I gave it a B, and that's because I thought the War Games matches were great. I loved them overall. The Intercontinental match was good. The reason I gave it a B, though, is because as one of the big four, you only had one women's championship match and one mid-card title match, and that's it as far as title matches go. Right. Your heavyweight champ was in the War Games match, and your WWE champ is nowhere to be found on one of the big four pay-per-views. Right, so, yeah. Randy coming back was great. R-Truth coming back was great. CM Punk coming back in the night, cool. All that said, I just think because what they did have was great, but for me, it's what they were missing as far as the title stuff, making it a bigger deal. But what they did have was good. That's why I gave them a B.
AJ, letter grade.
Honestly, A-. I kind of love this pay-per-view. I thought it was one of the more entertaining ones that they had all year. Both War Games matches were fantastic, even though there were people in them that I don't necessarily want to see. Men's War Game match was fantastic. Yeah. I think Gunther's fantastic. And then you have Randy. And then you have CM Punk. And then you have the crowning achievement of the night, R-Truth. So, I was highly, highly entertained. I thought this was probably their best pay-per-view of the year. I was very pleased.
Michael, wrap us up. What was your grade on this one?
B+ for me. Yeah. So the men's War Games match was awesome. Brandy looks better than ever. R-Truth somehow looks 10 years younger than when he did last time we saw him.
Right. No doubt.
I've been saying it forever. Rhea Ripley is a star. Probably my favorite wrestler active right now.
Interesting.
I don't care about Damage Control.
Me neither.
I really don't. I don't care about Bianca Belair, and I hate saying it, but Charlotte is like maybe top 5, but not top 3 for me right now. And she used to be like my number 1 like go-to. I love me some Charlotte Flair. But like, yeah, I've had too much. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I love lasagna, but I don't need to eat it every damn day.
Oh, I would totally eat lasagna every day.
Well, you're not Garfield.
Well,
according to you.
Well, you don't know that. But that's my point, though, is that I don't care about Damage Control. I really don't. And that match, I was like, it's technically a good match. I just don't care about anyone involved in it. But yeah, B+. And then Primo's reaction to CM Punk is just still one of my favorites. Just I don't want to believe again. My heart is still not mended.
Right, don't be cruel, Mr. Brooks.
Yeah. So let's burn through this card, man. As we were just talking about the women's War Games match, they liked when they had the women's and the men's. Usually they like to book in the pay-per-view with these matches. So women were up first, of course. Becky, Charlotte, Bianca, Shotzi versus Io, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Bayley. So the story kind of through this match was Bayley kept saving the team when they were about to get pinned, and then Bayley ended up being the one who got pinned in the end to kind of push their story of her coming out through there. So obviously the faces won here, but yeah, this was a decent match. Anybody got anything to say about this one?
Go away, Bianca Belair.
Why am I supposed to care about Shotzi? Why?
Shotzi, she has a tank.
Yeah, I think just trying to just involve her really is probably the best way to kind of involve her. I mean, everybody I think is going to remember the trash can spot from this match of Io, which she's done in NXT before, jumping off the cage in the trash can. So That's going to be kind of what's remembered the most.
You just summed it up perfectly. Shotzi is like, they had to involve her somewhere. It felt like that.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Right, yeah, because she hasn't been involved too much. I mean, they did some sort of something with her back. There was a story of her getting, there's a reason why she cut her. No, there's a reason why she cut her hair off. There was some sort of
her sister.
Not shoot, like storyline.
No, she lost her hair.
Yeah.
No, she had her hair cut by Damage Control, I thought.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, something like razor or something. I knew something like that happened. But yeah, that was the real reason.
Why is their name Damage Control? Like, have you ever thought about like what damage are you trying to control?
Bianca Belair's all the damage that happens in the WWE. It's their damage or none.
But I mean, that's the thing though. Is like damage control is like something bad happened. We're gonna make it better. They should be face. Yeah, they should be face.
To mitigate the damage.
Yeah. We don't want any more damage to take place.
We need to lessen this right now.
Well, maybe that's why they're fighting Shotzi, because like, you need to be taken care of. You're clearly hurting things.
Well, she has a tank, so that it can cause all kinds of damage.
Next up, we got Gunther and Miz. Obviously, Gunther retained. What do you guys think about this match? I mean, this was, Miz, man, he did his job here, man. Like he went out and had a good match, like he always does. Took 1,000 chops from Gunther, and just got his ass beat, basically. So, he put his working shoes on.
Favorite Miz match, least favorite Gunther match.
That's fair.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah,
fair.
Although I love any match that Gunther's in.
I love Gunther. He's so good.
Next up was kind of a makeshift a matchup where it was supposed to be Carlito's spot against Santos Escobar. It ended up being Dragon Lee. Santos Escobar got the win. Kind of middle of the card match. Next up was Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. Obviously Ripley with the Riptide to retain. So, man. How long does she keep the title for real?
Till Mania.
Yeah, she drops at Mania, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like in a triple threat or something like that. Something that doesn't hurt her too bad, maybe.
I think she can lose the title at this point. It won't hurt her. I don't know. I think she goes down clean, and not in some kind of screwy finish. But like, I just don't know who takes it off her is the real question here.
Right. Who's the strong, like who can they make? Who's strong enough to take it off of her and look legit? And
hopefully it's not what is her Jade
Cargill?
Hopefully it's not Jade Cargill. She's not ready.
Jade Cargill sucks.
She's not good. She's really not good in the ring. She's got the look and she can talk, but her in-ring is bad.
She reminds me of what's the red-haired girl who was terrible?
Y'all remember her.
What's her name?
Eva Marie.
She reminds me of Eva Marie, only in better shape.
So we got to the finale now, which at the main event was Cody, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, and Sammy versus basically the Judgment Day with Drew McIntyre. Obviously, the faces go over. Rhodes gets the pin. This was a match probably the most talked about during this pay-per-view. A lot of stuff went on here. A little storyline with Cody, Randy coming back. With the Allstate Arena in Chicago. Everybody doing the. Randy's move is kind of like an ode to Randy coming back. But I thought this was a very, very solid main event. Kind of did what it needed to do, and they fooled us as they put the logo up there like the match is about to be over. CM Punk's music hit. He comes out. We've already talked about that. That's how it went off. But you guys got any thoughts on the men's War Game match.
It was great. I mean, I loved it. It was fantastic. Had all the right beats in it. Randy Orton was in it. Cody Rhodes got a win in his Papa's match. And yeah.
I agree with all of that. It was just a good match. That's all I'm going to say about it. You summed it up nicely.
I have nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah. All right, so that's Survivor Series, man. So next up, the big one, and we'll talk about it post. After the Royal Rumble is over, we'll have a podcast. The next one will be after that. So let's make some quick early Royal Rumble predictions. Knowing everything we've seen with Survivor Series and everything that's happened lately in wrestling with coming back, there's only 30 people that can enter the Royal Rumble. Who's winning the men's and who's winning the women's? Anybody want to go first? Hop in there.
Clearly, CM Punk's going to win the men's.
I don't think so.
I don't think he does either.
He wants to main event WrestleMania, so it's like,
well, why would you pick Rollins versus Reigns then?
I think it's going to be someone boring. I think the men's match is going to be. I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre or Cody Rhodes again.
I'm picking Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
Very interesting.
I mean, I would pop for that because that's out of left field.
Picking build somebody.
I'm saying LA Knight.
That would honestly be a good pick. I like
I was gonna throw that out there too. It's like that's who I personally wanted.
That's who I would want to pick.
I think it'd be fun. All right,
you want to know who I want?
Who?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Of course, every year.
Well,
nothing else is new.
3 years in a row.
nothing else is new.
They have to pull the trigger on Knight soon. They have to pull the trigger on him.
See, I don't think they do. I think he is just fine where he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's super over right now. Don't get me wrong, but they need to give him a title. He needs to get a big win soon.
Are we offline right now, by the way?
No.
We are offline. How long have we been offline for?
No, we're not. We're not.
No, we're
I know
not.
it says
we're
it, but
good.
we're not.
Yeah, we're not. We're good.
That's not fun.
All right, so that was mostly of WWE and Survivor Series, kind of what's been going on lately. So let me tell you guys, so before we go home here very shortly, I concocted about 5 headlines of what I thought was kind of somewhat the top headlines in wrestling for 2023. And this is just as a whole, so just some quick solid notes, man. Tell me what you guys think about. I think probably the number one story was the sale of WWE to it was a parenting company of UFC. Is it called Endeavor? Is that what they're called?
Endeavor, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was probably the biggest storyline. So you guys got any thoughts on that? I have to say my initial thoughts were, oh God, it's going to somebody who doesn't know anything about wrestling. But obviously it's kind of settled in or kind of letting people still run it. Who knows what will happen in the future, but kind of thought that was a big deal, like getting it out from Vince's, what is it, 51, 49%, something like that. But that was kind of a big deal because we know wrestling as Vince's, and that's in our lifetime. That's all we've known, right?
Not anymore.
Right. So, yeah. So, thought that was interesting. You guys got any thoughts on that?
I was pleasantly surprised that they kind of gave Vince the old ham bones. I don't know what that means, but they kind of hoodwinked him, and they're like, oh, by the way,
yeah,
can you just go away, please?
Right? Yeah,
yeah. Probably because they wanted
their bones are.
They wanted their investment to actually turn as much profit as possible, and Vince he lost it 20 years ago.
That's generous.
All right, so next couple headlines, not in any particular order. I just want to throw these out there to you. Obviously, we're talking about CM Punk making huge headlines in wrestling in 2 different companies for 2 different reasons. You know what I mean? So that's got to be one of the bigger stories in wrestling. It's created a lot of drama. I hope we're past it because he's back home. is according to his words. So hopefully he, acts accordingly, now that he's back home. Or Mama, get out the whip and hit him, you know what I mean? Like, or get out that belt, whoop that ass, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Just like, so I think that would come in. Obviously, we talked about Punk enough, so we can move on to that. So another big headline was the AEW sellout in Wembley, that broke attendance records. That was a huge big deal. That was a huge win for AEW. So I think that was kind of pretty good for their side. That was, it was big for wrestling too. You know what I mean? To, anytime you pull off a big event like that, you got enough people, interested in watching it. So, and my last two headlines, I'm gonna start with the small one first, and then the big one at the end. The small one first is Edge moving over to AEW. Maybe now looking at it, not so big. Maybe the hype's kind of simmered down, but that was kind of AEW's first big move from, like a big time legend kind of that can still work pretty good, moving over, unless I'm like disregarding somebody else. But you know what I mean? Like Edge was
Ric Flair.
Like I said, Edge was pretty big. But I think probably the biggest story of this year, it was probably Bray Wyatt's death. I think was pretty huge, coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Still upset by it.
Mm-hmm.
It caught us all by surprise. It was, a pretty big deal to, just when we think he's just trying to make his way back, that kind of stuff into wrestling. So, you guys got any thoughts on Bray? I still feel, like that's, kind of a big deal because every now and again, like, I don't know, I still feel like he's on his way back or, waiting on him to show up as the Fiend again or something like that. Like it still doesn't seem like he's gone. So,
same, actually.
Yeah.
Also, and I would about Edge going to AEW. You would think that would be one of the bigger headlines of the year, but that landed like just a tiny wet fart. Like the whole entire thing surrounding that. Like, cause like they announced it and everyone was like, okay. Like, and it didn't really garner much more excitement or reaction than that. Just all right, there he is.
I think there is a lot of manufactured popularity with Edge, and I always have thought that. Well, hear me out here. Don't get me wrong. He's a great talent. He really is. He's a phenomenal professional wrestler. But take away Lita. What else he's got?
Christian.
The Brood.
So take away Christian. What else you got?
Okay.
The Brood.
So thinking about it.
Congrel. What else you got?
You have 11 world championships.
But I always thought that he was the lesser of Edge and Christian. I always like Christian more.
I always like Christian
I like
more
Edge,
too.
But
I was Edge. Edge was way cooler.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this to dump on Edge. I think Edge is again a phenomenal professional wrestler.
Yeah, I love that.
And I see Primo's getting upset because I'm making fun of one of his boys. I can see it in his pursed lips and angry face. That's great. Edge has always been the guy next to the guy, though.
Like Macho Man?
He's a lot like Triple H. He's not the guy. He's the guy who works with the guy, and that's an important role. And yeah, he's an 11-time world champion, but how many does Charlotte Flair have? And we're talking about go away, Charlotte.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about go away, Charlotte.
There's a lot of people talking about go.
I don't know if I'm in the majority.
Talking about go away, Charlotte. But honestly, when he retired, it was sad for me, but I didn't miss him at all.
See, I did a little bit. I missed him.
I mean, I didn't miss all the name-branded different signature moves, like the Education. Come on. The Educator, the Cutting Edge, the Winning Edge, the Spear.
He's very much like Johnny B. Bad in that regard, isn't he? Where Johnny B. Bad had all those.
Johnny B. Bad was also modeled after a rock star. So.
All right, so the Iron Claw movie comes out December 22nd. Yes. Are you guys going to the theater to see this movie?
Yes.
I am.
I'm not going to be around people on purpose. The
government
won't allow it.
I might actually. It's next Friday.
Yeah, the word is it's going to be.
Nobody's going to go with me.
It's going to HBO Max or Max, whatever it is.
Oh, then no, I'll watch it on HBO.
Then I'll just watch it at home.
HBO, yeah. Like, I don't want to be around other humans.
In the comfort of my own home.
I'm going to the theater, and then I'll be just as pumped to watch it again when I'm at home. So
I am excited to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to watch it twice because I have the feeling it's going to make me very sad. Like it's not going to be a feel-good movie.
You know how the story ends, so yeah, you already kind of know.
But it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
Can I say one thing quickly about Punk's return to WWE too? How it makes headlines.
Yeah.
I love how there's nothing he can do right for the fans right now but he's still making it work. For example, he plays ball. Oh well. He's just being fake. He doesn't play ball. See, look, he causes problems. It's like, what do you fucking want? Like,
us wrestling fans are a fickle bunch. We don't give a fuck what he does.
No, they say they want something, and when they get it, they're like, well, I didn't mean that, though. It's like, okay.
All right, before we go home, let me touch on the independent scene. We had 2 shows last weekend, man. Had a busy weekend. Iron Spirit Pro. Last Friday night, man, we had a packed house for what ended up being the crowning night of a brand new champion in Craig Mitchell, who took the belt off of CJ Esparza, who was 1 day shy of a 1 year reign of being the Iron Spirit Pro champion, former guest on the pod. So shout out to CJ for a heck of a run. But Craig Mitchell is now the new champion. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out and coming out with us. Next show up is January the 20th back in Normal at the Community Center. So make sure you check out IronSpiritPro.com. Tickets on sale already. And Iron Spirit Pro on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff to find out.
TikTok for the youths.
Match announcements and all that stuff coming up later. And then last Saturday night, I had Dreamwave show, Good as Gold, which is their annual Royal Rumble card, if you will. Yeah, Connor Hopkins ended up coming out with the briefcase. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, was in the house as the special guest legend. They came out and told a really cool story about Andre the Giant. It was really cool. It's that one time of year where you get to walk into a Dreamwave locker room. And, there's always a lot of surprises, and I turn the corner and I start walking into the locker room, and there's Jay Lethal standing there. And I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me, dude. Like,
not expecting that.
Come on. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. So it was great. And then, I go down the locker room, and then, I do stuff at the beginning of the show. And then the Rumble kicked off the show, and Jay was one of the earlier participants. I think he might have been like 8, 9, or 10, somewhere around in there. But
who
I had no idea.
Jay Lethal out, by the way.
I think it was Brady Booker, the local guy who was the guy that held the flag in the crowd for Chase U, on NXT. Remember the big blonde-headed kid?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The one that always, So he was the one. He was in the Rumble. I think he was the one that ended up throwing him out. But so it's just a fun time, man. It was awesome at Dreamwave this weekend. But to get back to what I was saying, I had no idea that he was going to be doing the Black Machismo gimmick, because I never seen his outfit or anything he put on before the show. So that was really cool. Another packed out, sold out show. Christian Rose did retain the Dreamwave Championship against Hartenbauer. So the story continues for our boy Hartenbauer with the climb up to trying to be the Dreamwave champion. But I have to say that I think that maybe Vikingo and the alternative title might have stole the show again. With another crazy match by those guys. But next card up for Dreamwave Wrestling is going to be February the 20th. Their February show. It's going to be called Run This Town, and looks like right now special guest is Pentagon or Penta Cero Miedo. He's going to be in the house doing autographs, and he's going to be there. And there's some rumored other surprises. There's some contracts that rumored may or may not be running out soon. So
Rick Martel.
Stay tuned.
I'm always going to guess Rick Martel.
Right.
No matter what it is, it's Rick Martel.
But tickets went on sale today for the show. They went on sale at 10 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, there was like 20-something tickets left. So it's going to sell out within hours once again. So probably by the time you hear this, if you snooze, you lose. But you can always watch it on IWTV as well. So 2 quick shout-outs here before you go home, guys. I was just on the Card Subject to Change podcast last night. It just dropped this morning. So go check that out on Spotify. Check that out on Apple Podcasts, all those podcasts that you listen to us on. You can check us out. They brought me on there. We talked everything Dreamwave Wrestling. We talked some Iron Spirit Pro. We talked about the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant. We talked about some old stuff, some old school wrestling, that kind of stuff. So I had a blast. These guys always come to the Dreamwave show. So went on there to talk with them. So go check that out if you feel so inclined. So, but my last question is, boys, 2024 is coming up. Briefly, do you guys have any wishes you hope happens in the world of wrestling in 2024?
Yes.
Go.
Yes.
Shinsuke Nakamura winning the Royal Rumble.
Cool. Like it.
That's all I ever want. I'm not greedy. I know I got it once already. Just give it to me again.
AJ, Primo, what's your wish list look like?
That we get to see Big E return to the industry in some form. He doesn't have to compete, but it'd be nice to see him healthy and around.
Yeah. And I wanted to mention too, Wes Lee, man. You know anything about him?
Yeah, no, I don't. I just saw that he had that his back is injured.
Yeah, it's tough. Hopefully, he gets to come back.
Can I change my answer? I like Primo's better.
Yeah. Michael, what's your wish list for next year?
I want AEW to turn it around. I really want them to do well, and they're just hurting me over and over.
That's a tall order right now.
That fits in with my line of my wish list. I was just going to ask the AEW just does better with their just let's start at the top. Let's just do better with our top talent, get that worked out, and then hopefully everything just kind of falls in place behind that. But I don't know. I just see a lot of fuckery going on, and I'm just AJ, I'm the optimistic wrestling fan.
Yes,
and
you
I'm just
are.
Come on, man. I'm trying to tune in for this stuff, and it's getting a little hard to watch at times. So I'm watching it for certain people. So, kind of, that's when you kind of watch it in other segments and you're turned off or kind of half watching, I want to be into it. I want it to be good. Yeah. Give me MJF heel back. Stop fucking around, man. Just do what works, and use your stars right. We'll pat you on the butt and let's do better. Okay.
It's almost like all of their problems weren't being caused by one tattooed man who is no longer there anymore. Almost like there's a whole world of problems that have nothing to do with one guy.
Yeah, but I'm excited a little too because we're just getting started here with Randy coming back. Who knows what they'll Punk's got a lot of matchups that we're going to see in 2024. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. None of these old men blow an Achilles heel or, something like that. You know what I mean? So.
That's honestly the second thing on my wish list is that Punk goes to NXT. That's who he signs with. And hear me out, mainly just to be a trainer. Just to train the younger talent on how to be a pro wrestler, cut a promo. Do
off-camera talent? Off-camera?
I'd like to see him work with some of them on camera to get some in-ring, on-camera training, kind of on-the-job training in the ring. but off camera especially. Teach these kids how to cut promos. Teach them how to sell. Teach them how to put a match together that makes sense. That's what I want to see from CM Punk and Randy Orton. I want them to move firmly backstage and help develop the new talent.
All right. Well, with that being said, boys, let's start to take her home. Let's tell everybody when we're going to be back, though. We're going to be back probably about the first week of February. We'll be dropping a pod somewhere around in there with all the Royal Rumble reactions to everything that happened at the Royal Rumble. We'll be talking about AEW World's End pay-per-view. We're going to be talking about TNA's return and how they've done this big return. They're going to try to make a big deal out of. So we'll be.
They've already partnered with Endeavor to make the streaming service. So
right, they have, yeah. And I did see that NWA must be making up with CW a little bit because some of their stuff has already been put on the app for CW. So that might be a little bit of a seed that they might be, giving a little olive branch and being okay with all that going on.
No more blow angles,
right?
Billy.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we'll give you one. They always give you one mistake, right? They're like, all right, you already blew that one out, so here's your. Hey, watch out! I got jokes, but so we'll see everybody back here at the beginning of February. Boys, it's the Christmas season. I want to thank you, Primo, for your contributions to the podcast throughout the year, sir. Thank you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas to you guys.
Thank you for your contributions, sir. Each and every podcast. Appreciate it. Michael, you've been a wonderful addition to our little podcast here. I'm glad we're keeping this thing going, man. So thank you, guys. Hope you guys have a good holiday, a good Christmas. Everybody listening to as well. Want to appreciate you downloading it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wouldn't be right if we didn't thank SportzWire Radio. We would have made it to 120 episodes without Thomas Bryce, giving us a shot and putting us on SportzWire Radio. It's helped our little podcast, make it this long. So, episode 121 coming up sometime in February, which is going to be right around our 3-year mark of no intended, no pun intended.
Look at you go. Making Coke jokes, making.
I know, right? Like, I'm on fire, baby. Just wanted to give a shout out. Thank you to Thomas for still putting our stuff out there on SportzWire. Sports Radio, which is sportswireradio.org. Now you can go and listen to the pod throughout the week and a whole bunch of other podcasts too. So Merry Christmas, boys. Have a good one.
Merry Christmas, you silly fuckers.
See you guys next time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
That's how we have to go home. I'm not saying anything.
I hope Aunt Flo isn't cooking the turkey this year for Christmas.
What does that even mean?
Last year it tasted like Newports.